This is a big game, and you know what? You have a good topic to get into it. This is a big one. 2:30.
Yes,
tomorrow at the stadium. And it's Dusty. It's Dusty Dvorak as the analyst. Dave Pasch is play-by-play, and Luganbill's on the sideline. How about that? Luganbill in town.
Yes.
He'll go on Sirius Radio on Sunday morning and talk about the game, so you can listen. What am I steering people to other stations?
No, you can listen to our station. And maybe catch that maybe on a podcast.
Right. Do that. Catch Luganbill on Tuesday on a podcast. But yeah, this is big. I mean, come on, we're playing meaningful football.
Yes.
Go ahead.
On that note, my question is this for you guys: 402-464-5685. It seems like tomorrow's game can cause an overreaction on both sides of the spectrum. How can we keep ourselves in check? Let's go through the positive first. Let's say Nebraska wins this football game. You will have people saying, "That's it. Stop the search. It's Mickey. Everyone else can bite me. Eat dust."
I don't know if they'll say that. But,
the answer is Mickey. No matter what happens the rest of the season, that's an overreaction because what happens the final 4 games if they lose all 4 games and they get blown out somehow?
Right. No,
you're
going to
regret.
It's a valid question.
You're going to regret saying that the search ended.
Oh, I don't know. Would you?
After the Illinois game.
Would you? I don't know.
I think you might.
I don't know. Go ahead. What's the alternative?
The alternative is if they lose, and if they lose by 10 points or more, people say, well, hang on, hold the phone. Maybe Mickey's not the answer. Let's move on to somebody else. We're in overreaction season. Every single day, every single game is going to cause a stir in the fan base of either positivity or negativity, but it's going to be very uncomfortable, I think, the next month, right?
Or fun.
Well, a combination of both.
I think
it's more fun if Nebraska's winning.
You asked the question. It seems like tomorrow's game can cause overreaction on both sides of the spectrum. How can we keep ourselves in check? Now, the 2 thoughts that come to mind for me is not everybody will overreact. You know that. There'll be people that are reasonable.
Well,
you won't hear from them, but they'll be reasonable. And they'll be the boring people at the breakfast table at local store, sitting around and hashing it out. They'll be the boring one. They'll be saying, "We can't overreact." Oh, fun. That's real fun. But they'll be reasonable people. It can be a fun discussion. You can't really, Jake. College football is about overreaction.
It is.
That's
what
sports
in general.
That's what it is.
Because we're fanatics.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't.
Can you be responsible in your
fanaticism?
Yes, fanaticism.
Can we be on this show?
We typically aren't.
Can the media be? I think the media core here has kept itself in check as it applies to Mickey. The criticism that I get on how I'm handling it is you don't know anything about the search, so you just write about Mickey. Yeah, that's true. That's probably a good way to put it. I don't know that I want to know about the search. We've covered that. And Mickey is in the chair. It's informative to people, ADs all over the country. That's one part of it that's informative. There's a lot about this. It's informative, but whoever you put in that chair during a protracted search that is secretive, that should be secretive and is secretive, using an outside entity to help you keep it secretive, the person in the chair is going to get a lot of coverage and a lot of attention. It is. I have learned a lot from this. Mickey is in the chair, and he happens to be doing well, and he happens to have a sort of charisma, and he happens to have leadership qualities. Will we overreact to an Illinois win? Here's a question I might ask you. Maybe we would. Is it possible we would underreact? If he beats Illinois, he wouldn't appreciate us putting it that way. If Nebraska would beat Illinois under Mickey's direction, he would stamp himself as the number 1 candidate. Okay.
Yes. But then there's 4 games to go.
I know.
That's my case.
But do
for
we do this?
overreaction.
But do we? I know. Do we do this week to week? Now we
Yeah.
tend to do it with
Yeah.
other coaches, right? We do it with other coaches.
Sure we do.
Aranda lost
Oh,
this week
he's out.
off.
Matt Campbell out.
Yeah.
Lance Leipold
Lost 2 in a row.
still
Gone.
Yep, gone. See ya.
Not fair.
So if we do
Is
it
that fair?
No.
Would you rule out Belichick right now because they're not having a good season?
Yes.
Or would you look at it as a? Or would you look
Bill
at
Belichick is not a candidate for this
would
job.
you look at his entire body of work? Why don't we do that with other people?
Because we are fanatics. We're irrational people.
Right.
There's no rationality in sports.
Mm-hmm. So
we're supposed to be crazy.
So if Mickey engineers a win over Illinois with 52-year-old Brett Bielema operating at the top of his game with a top 20 team that is more structurally sound than Nebraska, more systematically sound than Nebraska, I think their talent's better than Nebraska.
That's hard to hear.
It is, though. I asked Chris, well, you won't, but Baznet last year when I've told you this, when we were in Champaign, watched warm-ups, both teams. I had picked Nebraska to win that game like everybody else in Champaign last August of 2021. We were walking up to the press box after watching warm-ups, and I said, Illinois is better. Illinois is a better team. More talent. Bigger.
Last year in Champaign.
Yeah, bigger, more athletic. I mean, I always am struck by it because we think of Illinois as like the weaker sister. Nope, not now. They were definitely equipped to beat Nebraska. And then we hear Jerry DiNardo on Tuesday tell us that not only did they have more talent, that the Big Ten crew identified that they were better prepared when they saw their practice, both teams practice in August. Remember what he said?
Yeah.
He said, we walked away saying Illinois is going to beat Nebraska for sure.
And he was right.
They were more game ready.
He was right.
Yeah. So now go back. Now fast forward to Saturday. If Mickey Joseph leads Nebraska's program to a win against all of that, yeah. Okay, I'm not saying you hand him the job, but you stamp him as the favorite.
That no doubt about that. That's not an overreaction either. If Mickey wins the game, there is no doubt he should be the leader in the clubhouse.
Right now, there are people driving to work that are pissed, and they probably just turned the station.
Why?
Because a lot of people are not. They think we're getting swept up in this.
No, but if those people would pause for a second and collect their thoughts. Wouldn't it make sense that if Nebraska were to beat Illinois as of right now, as of Saturday, Mickey should be the leader in the clubhouse? Not saying it's signed and delivered, signed, sealed, delivered, and he's done. But with 4 games to go, he's in the driver's seat at that point.
Okay, now this is where we have to check ourselves.
How could they push back on that?
Well, here's how. I'll give you a how. What if Urban Meyer has assured Trev Alberts that he'll take the job?
Well, we don't know. That's a hypothetical. We don't know.
Well, but
I'm looking at things I know right now. If Mickey wins, it feels like he should.
We don't know any candidate, so of course he's the favorite. I mean,
exactly. That's how we have to operate.
Well, then he doesn't have to beat Illinois. He's the favorite.
He's the favorite.
He could go to Valentino's during the game and not even show up and be the favorite under our circumstances that we don't know who else is. Right?
Why weren't you coaching the game? I was hungry.
You're still the favorite.
The buffet, yeah, I am. Yeah. Odds are still in your favor.
See, the thing is, this is where the conversations get a little wild.
Yep.
I mean, what if there's an agreement, no secret agreement, I guess, with Urban Meyer? I don't know why I'm going down this road. I don't know of anything like that. I've not heard of anything like that. But we don't know what Trev has or doesn't have behind the scenes. So again, it's informative. The focus is on Mickey because Mickey's in the chair, and if only for that reason. Now you could say this, and this would be accurate. If Mickey were 0-4 right now instead of 2-2, we wouldn't be talking about him, right?
No, we would not.
If they would have,
they lost to Rutgers and
got blown out by Purdue, like we thought could happen.
We're just saying, why? Who's the coach? It's not him.
Yep.
He might be on staff, but he's not going to be the coach.
You know what? We'd be limping through this show because there would be nothing to talk about on October 29th.
Well, there wouldn't be anything positive is the problem. If we'd be saying, well, let's just end the season once again, get through it, find a way.
Instead, it's October. It's going to be October 29th tomorrow, and they're playing a game at 2:30 on ABC that means a lot, not just in terms of this coaching search. They could put themselves in the West conversation.
Right. If they win, they have a legitimate chance to win the West. Now, you expect a loss to Michigan in a couple weeks on the road, but let's say you beat Minnesota next week after you beat Illinois tomorrow. Then, yeah, even with the loss to Michigan, you're thinking, why can't we beat Wisconsin and Iowa to potentially win this division?
Yeah, so, and Illinois still has to play Michigan.
That's the thing. You're right now, although it might be unlikely, you have a chance. There's potential for it there instead of just sulking in another crap season.
And then the bowl game becomes a very real possibility, ending the bowl streak, talking about a bowl game in December. Now, wouldn't that be fun?
It would be fun.
I mean, so this is big. I think that the scene around the stadium will be reflective of the magnitude of this game. It feels big for the program.
It's big for Mickey.
Yeah, and it feels and then because of that, it's big for the program. It has big picture ramifications.